social media isn't just a problem because it wastes the time that Allah already blessed us. Like, that's already a problem that we have to answer to on Yawm al-Qiyamah. The second thing is, like, it's not even about procrastinating deen and dunya. It's not even about your journey of Islamic self-improvement. The worst part is that shaitan uses social media to push his agenda, to push their message of kufr, to push their falsehood about Islam, to push their haram on the kuffar, on the Muslims as well. You maybe think I'm exaggerating that shaitan is using this against us. He is. Tell me one time you've been on your own TikTok or Instagram and you haven't seen one fitna. One girl, one piece of music that you wanted to listen to. That's what social media does to us. It's eroding us with halal. Because no scholar can say social media is haram. But what you do in there, very easy to get to haram. And so that's why I want to give you my step-by-step formula, all the information, all the mindsets, and all the systems that I used to get rid of TikTok and Instagram and Twitter from my life. Like, it's not even a thing I use. I don't even touch it anymore. Alhamdulillah. Like, it's been about 3 months now, I think, where I finally got rid of it. Like, it's not even like a deleting cycle. It's just gone. Allahu Akbar, bro. And this is the stuff that I used in my system in my bonus course, which I put in the Annihilating Haram Habits. So that's an entirely other course of bad habits, right? That's inside of it. But before that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sultan. I make videos for brothers who want to progress in the deen and dunya. And we at the Sultanate, and what I'm trying to build here, and my mission here, is to annihilate weakness and sin in the males of the ummah. And this is by teaching on how to progress in the deen and dunya, to annihilate haram habits, and this whole part of Islamic self-improvement, so that you can go from being a male to a man. And I'm also on this journey too. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to get there. And that's basically the purpose of this channel. So if you connect with this message, you want to become a man, not just a male. You want to prove yourself for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And subscribe Insha'Allah to the channel. I give full guides of my step-by-step systems, tutorials, mindsets on how I conquer certain problems and how you can as well. I also have a product coming out which I'm super excited about. Like, I've put a lot into this. I'm very excited that it's almost done. The Annihilating Haram Habits course, especially because we're going to do some content that's in there, in the bonus sections. This is in here. And so if you're interested in that, then just subscribe to the channel. I put news about that on my community posts. Mindset, chapter 1. I swear by Allah, 99% of us have done more video games in our lives. We've played more video games in our lives than we have worshipped Allah. And the purpose of our life, as Allah says, like the purpose of our creation, I did not create jinn and humans except to worship me. So we've spent more time. People ask this question, they die without answering the question, what is the meaning of life? We know it. We've spent more time on video games than our meaning of existence. That's what Shaitan's empire is taking away from us. So let's apply that now. We have spent more time on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, alone, on one platform alone could destroy it. Just Instagram alone, than time spent worshipping Allah. The meaning of our existence is being fumbled by this one thing. Like really think about the hours you've spent on social media. Like, I know this zaps. It's hard to recoup that time that we spent doing nothing. Even in a day, if you spend 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day, bruv, you're losing time on the meaning of life. We can't do this anymore. It's actually funny. When you look at Shaitan's empire, you see why it's so hard. It's so hard. It takes like probably 15, 20 minutes, and I still haven't done it because it's so hard, to erase your social media account. Instagram, TikTok, all this stuff. Do you know how it's so difficult to do it? Maybe they know something we don't about the attention that we have as Muslims and as people towards the empire of Shaitan. Maybe it's just so needed and so important. Maybe it's literally one of the only things we actually get in our time, right? The blessing and the ni'mah of time and life. We spend life, not even time, life points on social media. I just want to make another parallel in terms of mindset, which is the parallels of social media and the seerah. One of the things that used to happen that Shaitan used to use as a pattern, right? Because Shaitan works in patterns. You can see his trail. So what used to happen with the mushrikeen is that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was doing da'wah, the mushrikeen would like follow him, and they would do 3 things. They'd plant falsehood immediately after, right? To manipulate the people, falsehood after the haqq had been told. Then they used to even give people poetry. They'd recite it for entertainment, right? Which is the entertainment of the time. And then they used to play music to distract them from them listening to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They used to give them dancing girls. Maybe more vulgar than dancing girls, but you get my point. And they used to give them alcohol. This would inebriate them from even understanding the dawah. But when we look at the modern day, maybe we don't have people randomly reciting poetry to us, but we have entertainment. We scroll all the time. Entertainment, just distracting us from the haqq. We have what? Music distracting us from the haqq. We have what? Dancing girls distracting us from the haqq. We have what? Even gambling influences are in here, right? The way that the TikTok scrolls is like you pull down a lever for the gambling machine. You can go look at the science. It's insanity. It's the same thing. It's the same track record. It's the same originator. Shaitan leaves trails. And if we're falling in the same trap that those people fell in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we have to break out of it, because they didn't hear the haqq and they were the losers, because they were distracted by entertainment, by music, by dancing girls. At least not alcohol. And oh yeah, I know alcohol in our time. You can still go look at your friends drinking alcohol and feel FOMO. We're subjecting ourselves to the influence of shaitan. I'm dead serious. It's not, and wasting time is already a problem. But I want you to understand that it's not about just the dunya. It's something greater than that. The reason we have to get rid of this from our lives. The third thing is the bottleneck of haram habits. It is the number one, I can guarantee 99% of the time, number one reason why you don't quit your haram habit. It's the thing that gets you in. It's the gateway drug to haram. Every single haram habit you have, whatever it may be, it starts with social media 99% of the time. That's why in every single video I make, social media is one of the cues. Most of the time. Yeah, may Allah protect us from this, because I know it's so addicting. Like, these people, they treat you like animals. Do you understand that? Like, they think you are an animal. They split test you. They split test you like you're a rat. Like, red. What color is best? Red or green for this button? How much seconds does he spend on this thing? They're tracking you, your data, so that you can stay. They literally treat you like a lab experiment. That's what your enemy is doing. So what? Are we just going to allow them to do this to us, or are we going to get annoyed? Are we going to fight shaitan? Are we going to fight jihad al-nafs? Even though this is not a haram thing, but it leads us to haram. Let alone even wasting time. Habibi, you want to become a man. You want to be productive. This is a big bottleneck. So inshallah, let's get into the real chapter. Let's get into the real stuff. How we're going to break out of this system. How we're going to get out of this part of shaitan's empire and shatter it from our lives, inshallah. Chapter 2 is the habit loop. So this is from Atomic Habits. We're just going to explain how the habit of social media normally works. 9 times out of 10, it's probably visual cues, like your phone. It's next to you, so you want to open it. And then since you open it, you're just going to check all your social media. Like for me, literally this morning, I was sending files to the computer about the course, right, that I've been filming. I saw the icon of WhatsApp, and I didn't want to press it because I know it's going to shatter my deep workflow. But I pressed it because it's right there. It's a cue. I want to know, right? And so I pressed it. Or even something like boredom. Boredom is a big one. When you're just sitting at a coffee shop, you're bored. You don't really know what to do, or maybe with your friends, and they're on their phone. So there's 2 problems with that. The first one's FOMO. Since they're on their phone, I gotta be on my phone, right? And the second part is you're bored. So you want to cure that boredom. And since it's so easy, we do it. And so the craving for this, the reason we want to get these cues done is because there's 2 problems. The first problem is we have curiosity to know. And the second problem is we need to kill boredom. And so both those cravings are going to come up. Like, I really want to not be bored anymore. Or I really want to know what that little red thingy with the 1 says. What did they tell me, right? And again, this has been split tested. This is psychological tricks that Shaitan's empire uses to get you in here. And so what will happen next is the response, which will be jihad al-nafs, right? Your nafs will want to satisfy its pleasure. It'll want to go and scroll and get dopamine. It's going to want to waste its time. And Shaitan's going to help it alleviate that because he knows where this is going. And then you have the party of Allah. We're going to call you to do things that are productive with your life, especially ibadah. And then what will happen is either you win jihad al-nafs or you lose. Either you restrain or you go on. And what will happen either is you get the pleasure, the dopamine, or the pleasure from the haram, or you get the reward of Allah because you went to do ibadah, or you went to go and be productive with your life and you got the reward in this dunya, right? Because now you're productive. And so that's how the habit normally goes. The big driving factor is curiosity and boredom. So if we can eliminate these 2 things and the visual cues, we can get rid of this, inshallah. So okay, chapter 3, the 4 laws of behavior change, right? This is something that James Clear aligns in his book, The Atomic Habits, on how to get rid of every single habit, and this is what I used as well. And so the first section is make it invisible. One of the things that I did, which was really good for me, I think beginning of 2024, something like this, probably end of 2023, is I got rid of all my notifications except for my mom. So how you can do this on Apple, because I know most of us need to talk to our moms. So you can put focus mode on every day, go into the focus mode, right? And what you'll do is you'll set a timer from 3 a.m. to 2:59, right? So what will happen is you literally have an entire day of focus mode on, so you won't get any notifications. and you won't get any pop-ups or whatever. And you also put your phone on silent, and what will happen is just automatically reset after 1 minute of being off, right? And what you can also do is turn off your notifications for everything except for WhatsApp, and you make in that focus mode your mom or your dad the only contacts that you can get messages for. So for me, my phone only pings if the sound is on, which it never is, or if my mom messages me. That way it's sustainable, because I know a lot of us, we try to do it, but then we do have this feeling that there'll be an emergency. And so I'm already hard to reach, but at least when my mom really needs me, like, my messages will go through. Maybe it takes me some time because I don't hear it, but if I do hear it, I'm already there, right? And then at least I get no one else's notifications, because you don't need it. Honestly, you don't need it, Habibi. Don't let anyone tell you that you need to be open, you need to be online, whatever. Only important people matter in terms of being notified. If you want to speak to people, spend time on WhatsApp at a specific time. Delete all your app cycle. So this is gonna take a while, but I need you to delete the icon. So delete Instagram, delete TikTok. It's even better if before you do that, you delete your account on the app. Delete it right now. I know lots of people sometimes say, but you need to have the willpower. You will not have the willpower. These guys spend millions of dollars paying psychologists to test you like a rat to know what your psychology is going to make you do. You're not going to beat them. Delete it. The more you delete it, the less you'll want it, because there's more steps as well. And the less you'll see it, so there's less cues. Is YouTube. I want you to delete YouTube as well. I know that there's an education factor, like you're watching this video, but there are some things we're going to talk about later that will help you out with this education and keep it strictly educational. But delete the app of YouTube on your phone. If worst case scenario, you can use Safari to get there, right? And then one of the other things you can do in terms of invisible is to work on your phone, because we're working on the icons of the phone, but the actual phone. This is, I think, the most important thing, and this is something that I still struggle with, that I'm struggling with YouTube. I still struggle with going on Safari and watching YouTube like 30 minutes a day, just doing nothing. Like, right, that's something I'm fighting right now, and something I'm really gonna start ramping up my fight against, using my system. I've never used my system against it, so Insha'Allah I'm gonna use it. So what you do is you get a vault. Now, I have tried putting the vault or like just a little case or a box or a bag. It's just supposed to be significant in your brain to say, my phone goes there, I don't touch it. And you put it in like a corner away. Now, I recommend you put this vault in another room, because even if it's in your room, it's too close. You can still walk there and fetch it. But if you have to get out of your room to go to someone else's room and maybe they're sleeping, it's a bit harder. It's farther away from you. And so there's less likelihood you'll touch your social media. And literally, like, the phone will be invisible to you. And the next thing is test a dumb phone for menial tasks. So I have a dumb phone. It's like, dude, it's like it's like $5. I think it's less than $5. It's very cheap. You guys can get a Nokia or something where you have a SIM card in there, so that people can call you, and when they call you, you answer. And you have like alarm clock. You have things like checking the time, because for some reason we don't use watches. So when I have an alarm, something that I used to see so much is that my phone would distract me when I used it to put alarms. And now I have this new phone that makes an alarm, so I don't even have to touch my smartphone until later in the day, because my dumb phone will be the thing that helps. I think it's hard to get it to be sustainable. I think one of the things to make it sustainable is if you actually put a SIM card in there. I still haven't done that, but I really want to test and kind of use the dumb phone with the smartphone, so that I can like send some tasks to the dumb phone, so that I can get away from the smartphone and get away from the triggers, of course. And the next thing is to make it unattractive. What you can do to make it unattractive is to have a habit tracker. In Atomic Habits, I remember James Clear talks about how the habits you track, this is going to significantly increase the amount of times you're either going to like correct your behavior. Because I've never really tracked my habit of social media, although I should. But I know some people have this negation habit where it says no social media or no junk food. But tracking that will keep you more on track of how many times you're doing it. And it will show you real-time data of like how much you're even spending on social media. Like, you can even write your screen time in the habit tracker, but make it specifically for that. You can have a specific habit tracker for habits. I actually think I'm going to do that, like one for schedule and one for the habits, where you're just trying to fight different habits off. It's unattractive because now you're going to have this big red X in front of you every single time you press it. And for some reason, that X, especially if you display it in somewhere public, because mine's very public, it's very open, it just makes it very unattractive to go on social media. And the next thing is delete your account. Either delete your account before you actually delete the icon of the actual app, or erase it. Now, erasing it is advanced. Even I haven't done this yet. Insha'Allah, I will do it soon. Now, I think what you can do that's manageable would just be delete your account before you delete the app, because at least it's an extra step. And then what you can do is dumbify your smartphone. So I had to do it because I have to film in higher quality now on my phone, so it takes up a lot more space. And so I had to delete every app except for like my banking app and my WhatsApp and my settings. Everything else is gone. Like dumbify your iPhone. Get rid of everything, every app you think you need. Like I used to have things like the Formula One app or like any football app, like these things. Why? All the games. Get rid of it. Dumbify your smartphone. Make it like get dumb phone level settings. Like you can always download and delete things. Like for me, I have Spotify when I listen to Quran or Nasheed when I train. I literally download it and then I delete it and then I download it again. Just so that because I have to save storage, so I'm forced to do it. But if you keep doing this, like keep your phone as clean as possible, except for like WhatsApp, it will make it so much easier because you have more friction, right? It's unattractive. You have to go to the app store where like you don't even see the cues. And the next thing is grayscale. I can't do grayscale. I want to test it out though. I think I have the discipline to use grayscale. I always used to do it, but like it was not very sustainable. However, I want to test it out. The problem with me is I have to record videos, right? So I have to see the color. But I want to test out recording videos in gray and see if that will work for me, because that again will make it more unattractive to use your social media. Even if you do break your thing, don't break your grayscale. And the next thing is to make it difficult. The number one thing to make it difficult is blockers. There's an app called BlockSite that I used back in the day for my Instagram and my TikTok. In terms of at least on the app, you can also do it to block your YouTube on the Safari. At least it's an extra step to turn it off. It is easy, but at least it's that extra step. But by far the best thing you can do is you want to use YouTube for education, of course. That's why you're here. Now, what I did is I made 3 accounts, and I actually have to like get rid of one of the accounts, and so I have to actually use my system. But essentially, I made one account for fun, the next account for Islamic knowledge, like just Islamic, like there's Masjid Ribat and like AMAU Academy, that stuff that's subscribed there. And then I have a third account, which is for my business studying or personal development studying, where there's like accounts like, for example, Charlie Morgan or like these people who are business people. So what I also did is I'll include all my links in the description of all the different extensions that I use to basically disable YouTube from being social media for the most part. Like I don't see any thumbnails, I don't see any like attractive things, I don't see any. You can even get ad blocker or YouTube Premium to even make this experience better. Then you won't even see ads, inshallah. But if you just get these extensions down there, you can use YouTube with your 3 accounts simultaneously, right? Let's say you got your Islamic Ilim app account and your knowledge of whatever you want to learn, like that, make that your knowledge account. You just put those blockers and you'll be so relieved. You'll use YouTube the correct way. I recommend you actually just use your desktop or your it only works on desktop, so inshallah if you have it on your family computer or even by yourself, you can use that. And that's just helped me so much. Like it changed my life in the sense that I can actually use YouTube like a normal person. Like instead of like I even went on YouTube recently on my computer with all the stuff on. It's so hooking. It's still social media, so we just gotta disable this so we can use it more. And in this way, it will also make it harder for you to get the social media out of YouTube and get the good out of it. And so, next thing is a schedule. Make it difficult for you to have free time. Like for me, if I have a day of free time, I'll probably spend 6 hours on social media. But now I'm on schedule, meaning that from time to time, I can't be on social media. I have to do this, then I have to do that, then I have to do that. If you have a plan for your day, you have less time. Like I only have like 2 hours of free time. I spend 1 hour of that right now on YouTube. I'm going to go and attack this habit now because I haven't been aware that I've been doing this. I got to fight it using the system, of course. I have another hour to spend time with my family and just watch things or read a book. Like in terms of free time, after spending time with the deen, spending time with the dunya, I got that. Most of us, you even have less time because you have school. My point is, if you have so many things to do, you'll have less time to do like social media. Even if you were to still have it, it would be significantly less. So plan your day, put a schedule, add more habits, add more ibadah, add more this. That will help you against this. And the last thing, which is make it unsatisfying, is the best thing I've ever done. Best thing. Which is that when I have a social media scroll session, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram back in the day, at least for me, I oath that I would do 2 rak'at. Just because I wasted time, right? I didn't want to waste time. And what this did is it just made it so annoying to open my phone. because I knew immediately after my phone I have to do 2 rak'at, because I after my scrolling session I have to go and pray 2 rak'at because I waste time. I didn't know. I don't recommend you do that. Don't do that. What you should do is just have the discipline that every single time you go on a scrolling session, not every day once, every scrolling session, like on the app, turned off the app. When you turn off the button, it's time. You gotta go and do 2 rak'at, just to spend time. Of course, not in the forbidden times, but just to go and spend time in worship, so you can recompense the time that you just wasted. And that's something that both helps you gain good and like combat the desire to go and do it, because you're already thinking long term. You're like, okay, if I go on social media after an hour, I still have to go and make wudu, and then I gotta pray, and it's like it creates this friction towards it, which is very important. Something that helped me a lot with quitting Instagram and TikTok, inshallah. That's the entire system to annihilate social media from your life. And even I'm, of course, working on this myself, but alhamdulillah, I've done it for Instagram, done it for TikTok, done it for Twitter, and inshallah, you're going to be doing the same. And now I'm going to do it for YouTube, inshallah, and I'll update you my progress. And I'm totally sure I'll do it because I know my system works. And yeah, may Allah bless you. And if you're interested in this type of content, then subscribe, inshallah. You want some education on progressing in deen and dunya, that's what we do here. And if you thought this content was valuable, and you want more resources on how to get rid of bad habits, haram habits, and you just want to help yourself get rid of these bad and haram habits that chain you from being the best version of yourself, inshallah, then just look out for the haram habits course. It's coming with a bonus course of bad habits, like all the lists of bad habits that we do, all the lists of internal haram habits that we do, for free as bonuses to the main course, which is what I'm really proud to do, which is my external haram habits course. It's called the Annihilating Haram Habits course. It'll come out soon, inshallah. I'm very excited about it. And just subscribe, inshallah, so you can get news on it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. May Allah bless you. May Allah reward you for wanting to get rid of the wasting time and wanting to do more for Him. Spend your time more in ibadah. Like I said, get a schedule. Make sure that you get an extra few, especially now that I've done more scheduling because of Ramadan. I spend so much more time now that I've cut off. I can't use social media until this time. And it just helps me so much with keeping on track with everything. If you enjoyed that, may Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.